Ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James is holding up the NBA schedule. I said LeBron James is holding up the NBA schedule. What is going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Mike Roach Show. I am officially back from vacation. And, as this World Cup was going on, even throughout, all I'm hearing about right now is still where is LeBron James going to end up? So much to the point that Adam Silver actually came out and said that they cannot go forward with the NBA schedule until LeBron James has picked a team. And so I'm going to read to you an article, a small piece of the article from Jack Maloney of CBS Sports. And it says this: LeBron James has still not decided where he wants to play next season. Or if he has, he hasn't shared it with the world. And that's starting to cause some issues around the league. First and foremost, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver noted Thursday that they cannot finalize the schedule until they know where James will play. In addition, some big name players, including James Harden, Draymond Green, and DeMar DeRozan, remain unsigned because their contracts and possibly even where they sign depend on James' decision. Likewise, all of the main suitors involved, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Golden State Warriors, Miami Heat, Timberwolves, Sixers, cannot finalize their rosters or plans for the upcoming season until they know if they'll have James or not. And so the crazy thing about this is, do people really care that much? And seriously, like I'm not trying to insult LeBron James or anything like that. I mean, we know the guy is incredible. He's probably, second or third all-time best player ever. Some people say first, some people say first. I'll leave it at that. But at the end of the day, LeBron James is still putting in mad work. He really is. And I'm sure coming into this season, he's still going to be giving you at least 20 plus points per game, probably 6 rebounds, 6 assists, along those lines. There has not been a dramatic decline in the game of LeBron James thus far. Is he the same LeBron James of years back? Obviously not. Is he still in his prime? Of course not. We know that. But the guy can still put points on the board, can still handle the ball, rebound, still a great passer. Can he play defense? Not too much anymore at this point, but in totality, when he's on the court, damn it, he's still a difference maker. And so he still deserves a lot of respect. He's still an all-star caliber player. He's still an all-star caliber player. But when I hear about Adam Silver talking about the NBA can't move forward with their schedule because of LeBron James, we're talking about a guy who has now been going on a quarter century of playing in the NBA. A quarter century of playing in the NBA. So you know what, damn it, we should be respectful to LeBron James because you know what? I'm going to drop one for him because of how much he's done for the game. And he's an amazing player. Like I said, some people have him at number 1. I do not. Number 2 or number 3. I don't have him at number 1. It doesn't matter. The point is, this man has done a lot for the game. He's on the Mount Rushmore of basketball, and he deserves his respect. But there's a couple things that we have to discuss now, and I promise you this won't be a long video. I'll get to the points. Number 1, LeBron James doesn't have to rush a decision for anyone. LeBron doesn't have to sit there and please Adam Silver or NBC on Peacock or Amazon Prime or ESPN. That's not his problem. He doesn't have to sit there and rush a decision because of them. It would be nice. It would help push things along for the NBA, which would be great. I'm sure they would appreciate it. But really, he doesn't have to do that for them. That's number 1. The bigger problem that I have with this entire thing is that with all the young budding talent stars, superstars that you have in the NBA, you cannot go forward because of the guy who's played almost a quarter century. And this is my problem that I'm seeing now with the NBA. Why are you still up in the air with making decisions because of LeBron James? I understand how ratings work. I'm a guy who's worked in broadcasting for the NBA or an NBA team for the Raptors for over a decade. I understand numbers matter. I understand the big revenue that you're getting from these different companies. They're big bucks. I get it. And they want certain guys on television, including one LeBron James. I completely understand that. I get money and revenue and how the game is played from a broadcasting perspective. Completely understand that. But shouldn't the NBA now focus on some of these young studs that they have in the NBA? And I'm not saying that they're not, but they need to do a better job of it. There's way too much still going on around LeBron James, in my opinion. You can let me know if I'm wrong. I get it. I understand who he is and what he's done. Incredible talent. Pushes numbers. I get it. But we got to start getting some rivalries and some big time matchups and some heated rivalries and matches going up with some of this younger talent. I mean, the NBA is in a very good place right now, by the way. A very good place. And these aprons are doing the job that it's supposed to be doing, because these guys are spreading out to different teams and the level of parity is there. How many years in a row now have we seen a different champion in the NBA? How many years in a row now? Has it been 8, 9, something like that? I don't think it's been 10 yet, but I know it's been at least 8 or 9. You go down the list of some of the best players right now in the NBA. We should be pushing matchups, rivalries, slobber knockers with these young cats. We're talking about SGA, Wemby, Jokic, Doncic, Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Antetokounmpo now on Miami, Kawhi Leonard hanging in limbo, going back to Toronto, which is going to be really cool to see as well. But anyway, that's he's a bit of an older cat, but Cunningham, if I didn't mention that, Steph Curry still, all right? Donovan Mitchell, Cat, Tatum, Jaylen Brown now in the Sixers, Tyrese Maxey, still got KD, Scotty Barnes, Devin Booker, Jamal Murray, OG, Deniat Avdija, Jalen Johnson, Mobley, Bam Adebayo, Stephon Castle, Siakam, Holmgren, Banchero, Sengun. And listen, I'm just naming off a whole bunch of players right now. The point of what I'm trying to do is Jalen Williams, LaMelo Ball now over in Minnesota, Austin Reeves, Derek White, Amen Thompson, whatever Utah is going to be with Lauri Markkanen and their young cat that they just drafted at number 2. I mean, Cooper Flag. There's just so many people. Dylan Harper that I can name. Con Canupel over there in Charlotte. So many guys. And so many more that I can name and talk about. A lot of these teams are going to be much improved teams as well. Maybe not the upper echelon ones at the top. I don't know how much better those teams are going to be because they're already fantastic teams. Yes, we know that. But a lot of these other teams that were terrible, the ones who were improving, like Atlanta, I think is still going to be a better team. How much? I don't know, but they're still going to be better. Brooklyn is going to be better. I think Charlotte's going to be better. Chicago is going to be better. Indiana is going to be better. Detroit hopefully stays good. The Clippers are going to be interesting with the move that they made when you bring in a Grady Dick, your young draft pick. You bring in Brandon Ingram, obviously. The Lakers are looking extremely different. Memphis looking a bit different. Miami as well. What Milwaukee will be, I have no idea. But the point is that a lot of these teams, Washington is another team, Utah, a lot of these teams are going to be better positioned this season, especially with this whole new draft lottery system. There is no incentive to just be completely ass anymore. There's just not. Okay, it's just not going to be any incentive for that. Because remember, if you fall into those bottom three, your odds to get that top pick goes down. So now you need to actually win more. And these teams have made better moves, better decisions to get win now players in there. And listen, we understand that for some strange, weird reason, there are numerous, and I mean numerous fan bases that just want to see their team continue to tank. I don't get it. I have no idea why the hell anybody would want to see that, especially when your team has been absolutely trash for years. Some teams, I swear, for decade plus, just horrific. Pretty please, can you get a little better? Can your scouts, executives begin to do something? Overall, what I'm trying to say is, damn it, the NBA, if LeBron James is still holding up your schedule at almost 25 years in, you probably need to do a better job of marketing and getting better matchups and rivalries with some of these young cats that you have in the league. Because this is, this is just ridiculous, in my opinion. Just ridiculous.
It's completely BS. This is shame. Shame for the referees, shame for the league to allow this.
I mean, come on, man. Come on, pretty please. NBA, do something to get some better rivalries and matchups during the season. You should not be held hostage. You should not be held hostage right now by LeBron James. That's just pretty damn sad, if you ask me. I mean, you really got to figure this thing out. And like I mentioned, love LeBron James, huge fan of LeBron James. As I'm sure a lot of you are, and probably some of you are not. But all I'm saying is, like, LeBron James to any one of these teams that we're talking about, Cleveland, Miami, who's the other East team I heard about? Philadelphia. Okay, that would be interesting, right? That would be interesting. But at the same time, like at this point in LeBron James' career, and you add him to any one of those teams, let's even say a team like Golden State, right? Because we've been hearing about that as well. Is that a team you're terrified of? Like, if you, at one point, you could say that if you added LeBron James and just don't even take anything else away, don't even take anything else away, no players or anything, just take LeBron James and add him to one of those teams. At one point, you would say, because of who LeBron James is, what we're used to seeing from him on the basketball court, you would say, damn, now that's terrifying. It really, really is. But with those teams, those four teams, for example, that I just mentioned, right? Miami, Cleveland, Philadelphia. And I do think he's probably coming to a team in the Eastern Conference, right? And I mentioned Golden State as well. Like, are you really terrified of any one of those teams if you get LeBron James? And don't get me wrong, I expect them to be much better with him on the roster. But to just flat out say one of those teams, you add him to them and they're coming out of the East right away immediately, I'm not going to go that far to say that right away. Because I think we have seen enough now at this point that chemistry is very, and I mean very underrated when it comes to NBA and when it just comes to sports in general. Like, you got to have pieces that fit together, click, and work. All right. Just throwing guys on a team together and expecting it to work. I don't think a lot of people are buying into that anymore. And I think I do believe, like, I think some people probably think that LeBron James already knows what team he's going to. Imagine if I'm doing this show right now and Shams comes out and says LeBron James picks his team before this thing even releases. Oh, I'd be so mad. But anyway, I'm pretty sure that, people have their sources and whatnot, and their different ideas of where they think LeBron James is going to be. Maybe some people already do. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But I genuinely believe that LeBron James is still trying to figure this thing out. Why? Because wherever LeBron is going, he's trying to win a championship. And we've heard it before. We've heard him say, or at least his camper, Rich Paul, because Rich Paul does have his podcast out with Max Kellerman. I like that podcast by the way. But we've heard him say it's not necessarily driven by chasing a championship at that point, I believe, is what I heard. It's not? Like, that is, I would have to think that wherever LeBron James goes, he's going because he's trying to win a championship. He's trying to win a championship. And so when we hear that, LeBron James is not going to be driven by trying to win a champ, then what the hell are you still playing for? Like, this is going on almost 25 years at this point. Wherever LeBron James wants 5 rings. He's trying to inch his way closer to Jordan still at this point. He is. I don't care what anybody says. I'm telling you. Of course he's trying to inch his way closer to MJ. You really don't think he's not trying to do that? You don't think that he wants to have more rings than Steph Curry? They played in the league at the same time. Steph Curry is equal at that point with one team. And LeBron did it with 3 teams. That's really impressive. But at this point, is LeBron James still playing just to stuff stats and to still prove himself to the rest of the world? It's LeBron James. The hell does LeBron James have to prove? LeBron James has absolutely nothing to prove. And so he doesn't want to look like that guy, quote unquote, a Kevin Durant going to Warriors. He doesn't want to look like that guy, even though that won't be said. And I'm not necessarily saying that, but I would assume that's a reason you wouldn't see him go to the Spurs, or you wouldn't see him go to an Oklahoma City Thunder. I would understand the New York Knicks if they didn't end up winning the championship, right? Because if you're really trying to win a chip, you're probably looking at going to a team like the Spurs, Oklahoma City. I guess you can say the Miami Heat was probably a safer choice for him because, remember this, a lot of this stuff depends on the narrative that's going to be pushed. He loves to control the narrative. And I'm not mad at that. I got no complaints with that. But the narrative does matter. And I'm sure he's looking at, and his camp looks at, okay, if I go to such and such team and I go here and I win a championship or I lose in embarrassing fashion, depending on what team I'm playing for. What is going to be said about my legacy after that? Even though most people already would say his legacy is already cemented. It cannot be changed or altered based on what happens now in his career. You can agree or disagree with that, and you can let me know. But I still think he's trying to figure this thing out. But I'm hoping the decision comes soon so we can talk further, because a whole bunch of things change. And once that piece lands, a whole other bunch of pieces will fall in place. At Mike Roach 7 on IG, at Mike Roach 23 on X. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, share, and rate the Mike Roach Show. Officially back from vacation. Jamaica was beautiful, by the way. I'm gonna drop one. Great vacation. Wife had a lot of fun. Kids had a lot of fun. Shout out as well to the Point Goddess. The Point Goddess event was absolutely wonderful this past weekend. So shout out to the Point Goddess. That event is getting bigger and better every single year. And so we got to show a lot of love. A lot of people came out. Absolutely great event there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Mike Roach Show. I'll be back again soon. Peace. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll get back to you when I can, which should be like ASAP, because I do respond all the time. So get at me. I'll get back at you. I'm out.